My name is Rachel. I'm 48, a pharmaceutical sales rep in Austin, Texas, and I gave my best friend my kidney on a Thursday in February. 3 weeks later, while I was still sleeping 16 hours a day and struggling to stand up straight, I found out she'd been sleeping with my boyfriend. The flowers on my hospital bedside table, he sent them to her apartment. She just moved them to my room to keep up appearances. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how 30 years of friendship died in the time it takes a kidney to wake up in someone else's body. Sarah Mitchell and I met freshman year at UT Austin. She was pre-law, magnetic, the kind of beautiful that made people stutter. I was pre-med, quieter, the friend who made her look even better by comparison. We became inseparable anyway. Or so I thought. She dropped out junior year to marry Richard, a real estate developer 20 years older. They had the big house, the country club membership, the life that looked perfect on Instagram. When Richard died of a heart attack 5 years ago, Sarah inherited everything. I held her at the funeral, planned the reception, stayed up with her for 72 straight hours while she cycled through grief. "You're the only person who really knows me," she said that third night, her head on my shoulder. I believed her. I met James 2 years ago at a medical conference in Dallas. He was a nephrologist, kidney specialist ironically, 15 years younger than me, with dark eyes and the kind of smile that made me forget I'd sworn off men after my divorce. We took it slow. He was patient with my walls, my baggage, my tendency to work 60-hour weeks. He met Emma, my daughter, who was skeptical but eventually approved. He integrated into my life like he'd always been there. Sarah adored him. "Finally, someone good enough for you," she'd said when I introduced them at her Christmas party 2 years ago. I watched them laugh together in her kitchen that night, James helping her open wine bottles, Sarah touching his arm when she laughed. I remember thinking how lucky I was that my best friend and my boyfriend got along so well. God, I was stupid. Sarah called me on January 10th, a Monday evening. I was meal prepping for the week. James was running late from the hospital. "Rach." Her voice was small. "I need to tell you something." My knife stopped mid-chop. "What's wrong?" "My kidneys are failing. Stage 4 chronic kidney disease. I need a transplant." The chicken breast blurred. "Since when?" "They've been monitoring me for 2 years. It just got worse, fast, 2 years. She'd been sick for 2 years and never told me. The wait list is 3 to 5 years, she continued. I don't have that long. They're saying 18 months, maybe 2 years if I'm lucky with dialysis. I'll get tested, I said immediately. Rachel, no. I can't ask you to... You're not asking. I'm telling you. I'll call my doctor tomorrow. Silence on her end. Then, have you talked to James about this? He'd know the risks better than anyone. James will understand, I said. You're my sister. Not by blood, but by choice. That's stronger. You're sure. I've never been more sure of anything. That night when James got home 2 hours late, I told him. He was finishing a glass of wine at the counter, still in his scrubs. You want to donate a kidney to Sarah? His voice was flat. I'm going to. I already decided. He set down his glass. Rachel, do you understand what you're offering? This isn't like donating blood. You'll be permanently... I know what I'm offering, and you've made up your mind. Without discussing it with me? It's my body, James, and she's my best friend. Something crossed his face. Too quick to read. Of course. You're right. I just worry about you. He kissed my forehead, held me longer than usual. I thought it was love. Looking back, I think it was guilt. The compatibility testing took 8 weeks. Blood work every few days. Tissue typing. Antibody screening. Psychological evaluation to make sure I understood the permanence of what I was doing. During those 8 weeks, Sarah started looking better, hopeful. She'd text me daily updates about her health, her diet, her plans for after the transplant. James started working late more often. 3 nights a week became 4, became 5. Big caseload, he'd say, kissing me at the door at 11 p.m. Lots of transplant patients needing follow-up. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was a nephrologist. Kidney patients were his specialty. I just didn't know one of them was visiting him after hours. Emma came over one night in late January, noticing my pill organizer on the counter. "Mom, what are all these?" "Prep medications. For the surgery. You're really doing this?" "Of course I am." She sat down heavily. "I don't trust Sarah. Emma, I'm serious. Something about her feels off. The way she looks at James. The way she texts you just enough to keep you hooked. You're being paranoid." "Am I? When's the last time she asked how you are?" "Not about the kidney. About you." I opened my mouth, closed it. "Couldn't remember. Just be careful," Emma said. "Some people take and take until there's nothing left." "Sarah's dying," I said quietly. "She's not taking anything. I'm giving." "Is there a difference?" Emma asked. I didn't have an answer. The surgery was scheduled for February 20th, a Thursday that arrived with unseasonable warmth. James drove me to the hospital. Sarah was already there in pre-op, looking small in her gown. Her sister Monica was with her, holding her hand. "You came," Sarah said when she saw me, like she doubted. "Where else would I be?" She started crying. "I can never repay this." "Then don't try. Just live." James squeezed my shoulder, kissed my cheek. "I'll be here when you wake up," he said. That was the last true thing he told me for weeks. The surgery took 4 hours. They removed my left kidney through a 6-inch incision in my side. The pain when I woke up was blinding, but the nurse said it went well. Perfect extraction. Sarah's body was already accepting it. "Your friend is in recovery," she said. "Doing great." The kidney started working immediately. I smiled through morphine fog. Thought, we did it. She's going to live. James appeared beside my bed around hour 6, held my hand, brushed hair from my forehead. "You're incredible," he said. "So brave. Is Sarah okay?" "Perfect. Her numbers are already improving. You saved her life. Can I see her?" "Tomorrow. You both need rest." He stayed an hour, then claimed he needed to check on his patients. Kissed me goodbye. I learned later he went straight to Sarah's room. Stayed until midnight. I was in the hospital for 5 days. Sarah was down the hall, but we couldn't visit each other. Both too fragile, too high risk for infection. The nurses carried messages between us. Sarah says thank you. Sarah says she's thinking of you. Sarah says she can't wait to celebrate when you're both healed. What they didn't tell me? Sarah had visitors every day. Her sister, her friends, and James. James, who came during his lunch breaks and stayed for hours. On day 3, Emma visited. Brought me magazines and chocolate I couldn't eat yet. She was arranging flowers on my bedside table. Roses, lilies, daisies, all from people at work. When she paused, "Mom, where'd you get these?" She was holding a bouquet of white orchids. Expensive, elegant, I don't know. "Check the card." She opened the small envelope. Her face went strange. "What does it say?" "Get well soon. You're stronger than you know." No signature. "Probably from my office," I said. Emma set them down carefully. Too carefully. "These aren't from your office, Mom. These are from the flower shop on 6th Street, the expensive one. I know because I tried to buy flowers there once and they were $200 for a basic arrangement. Someone was generous then. Or someone is covering their tracks." "Emma, you're being paranoid again." "Am I?" "Because James hasn't been here since yesterday morning." "Where is he?" "He's working." "For 24 straight hours?" I didn't answer. Couldn't. Because she was right. Where was James? That night, around 8 p.m., he finally appeared. "Looking tired, rumpled, long day?" I asked. "Brutal. 3 emergency consults. I'm dead on my feet." He sat beside my bed, took my hand. "How are you feeling?" "Honestly?" Like someone removed an organ, he smiled weakly. "The worst is over. Few more days and you'll go home. Have you seen Sarah?" A pause, just a fraction too long. Briefly. "She's doing great. You should be proud." "I am. I just wish I could see her. Soon. Doctor's orders for now." He left after 30 minutes. "Early surgery tomorrow," he explained. I watched him go. Something cold forming in my stomach. The orchids sat on my table, their white petals perfect, accusing. I went home on day 6. Sarah went home on day 7. My apartment felt empty, wrong. Emma stayed with me the first 3 days, helping me shower, managing medications, bringing food I couldn't stomach. James came by twice, both times bringing takeout, staying barely an hour before emergencies called him away. "I'll make it up to you," he said each time. "When you're better, we'll go away somewhere. Just us." I wanted to believe him, tried to believe him, but Emma's words haunted me. Where is he? On day 9, a Tuesday afternoon, I was sleeping on the couch when my phone buzzed. A text from Sarah's sister, Monica. "Hey Rachel, I'm organizing Sarah's recovery celebration for March 15th. Can you make it? She really wants you there." I stared at the message. "March 15th, 3 weeks away. I'll try," I wrote back. "Still pretty weak, totally understand. But Sarah specifically said you had to be invited. You're the guest of honor, obviously. After what you did, guest of honor." Something about those words felt wrong. Like lines in a play, I slept another 3 hours, woke up to my phone ringing. "Sarah." "Hey, stranger," she said, her voice bright, stronger than I'd heard it in months. "How's my hero?" "Tired, sore, you know. I'm sorry you're suffering. But Rachel, I feel amazing. Like I got my life back. Your kidney is... God, it's a miracle. I went for a walk this morning. A walk. I haven't been able to do that in months." "That's wonderful, Sarah. I'm having a little celebration in a few weeks. Monica probably told you. You have to come. You're the reason I'm alive. I'll try. Not try. Promise me. Please, Rach, I need you there." Need. That word again. "I promise." "Thank you." Relief in her voice. "And listen, I've been meaning to ask, how's James? Is he taking good care of you?" My stomach clenched. "He's been working a lot. That man works too hard. But he's devoted to you, I can tell. You're lucky." "Yeah," I said. "Lucky." After we hung up, I sat in the silence of my apartment. The orchids from the hospital were on my kitchen counter, starting to wilt. I Googled the flower shop on 6th Street, found their website, clicked on order history and logged in with my email. No orders. I tried James's email. The password was my birthday. He'd told me once, proud of himself for remembering. The order history loaded. February 21st. White orchids. Delivered to Austin General Hospital, room 847 to Aunt Sarah's room. My hand started shaking. I scrolled up. More orders, all in the past 6 weeks. January 28th. Red roses. Delivered to 4502 Hillside Drive. Sarah's address, February 7th. Mixed arrangement. Same address, February 14th. Premium Valentine's bouquet. Same address. February 19th. White orchids. Sarah's address. One day before my surgery, the room tilted. He'd been sending her flowers for weeks. Expensive flowers. Romantic flowers. And the orchids in my hospital room. They weren't for me at all. They were for her. She just moved them to keep up the illusion. I called Emma, hands still shaking. "Mom? What's wrong?" "James has been sending flowers to Sarah." Silence. Then, "How do you know?" I checked his order history. 6 weeks of deliveries. To her house. Son of a bitch. "Emma, what do I do?" "You confront them. Both of them. Immediately." "I can't. I can barely stand up. I just gave her my kidney," which is exactly why she thought she could get away with this. "Mom, listen to me. They're counting on you being too weak, too grateful, too nice to say anything. That's why they're doing it now. You think they planned this?" "I think," Emma said slowly, "that James knew you'd say yes to the donation. That you'd be helpless during recovery. That Sarah would be healthy and grateful and you'd never suspect." "Yes, Mom. I think they planned this." The words landed like blows. "There's more," Emma continued. "I didn't want to tell you while you were recovering, but I saw James's car at Sarah's house last week, Thursday night. It was there from 9 p.m. until after midnight." "You're sure?" "I drove by 3 times. I was suspicious, so I went looking." "Mom, I'm so sorry." I hung up. Walked to the bathroom. Looked at myself in the mirror. The scar on my left side was still bright red, held together with surgical glue. The skin around it bruised purple and yellow. I'd lost 12 pounds. My face looked gaunt. I'd given Sarah life, and she'd stolen mine while I was too weak to stop her. I couldn't drive yet. Doctor's orders. So I called an Uber. The driver helped me into his car. Noticed my careful movements. "You okay, ma'am?" Recent surgery. Should you be going out? Probably not. He drove me to James's apartment. I had a key. I used it. His place was neat, like always. But there, on his kitchen counter, a woman's earring. Small, gold, distinctive. I'd seen Sarah wear them a dozen times. His laptop was open on the couch. Still logged in, I shouldn't have looked. But I did email. Recent messages. Search. Sarah. 53 results. I clicked the first one. Dated 2 weeks before my surgery. James, I can't believe we're actually doing this. I feel terrible, but I also feel alive for the first time in years. Does that make me a monster? His response, you're not a monster. Rachel would want you to be happy. After the transplant, when she's recovered, we can tell her gently. She'll understand. She loves you. Another email. From Sarah. Dated 3 days before the surgery. What if she figures it out? She won't. She trusts us both completely. And after she gives you the kidney, she'll be too focused on recovery to notice anything. By the time she's strong enough to ask questions, we'll tell her together. She'll be hurt, but she'll accept it. She always accepts things. I read that line 3 times. She always accepts things. Another email. From James to Sarah. The night after my surgery. You look beautiful. The kidney is working perfectly. Rachel gave you more than life. She gave you your future. Our future. My vision blurred. The final email. Dated 2 days ago. Sarah, can't wait for the party. Rachel promised she'll come. I'll stay close to her. Make sure she doesn't suspect anything. After the celebration, we'll sit her down. Together. She needs to know we didn't plan to fall in love, it just happened. She'll forgive us eventually. She has to. I closed the laptop, walked to his bedroom, opened his closet. A dress. Sarah's. I recognized it from her Instagram. On his nightstand. A framed photo. Tucked in the drawer, face down. I pulled it out. James and Sarah. At some restaurant I didn't recognize. His arm around her. Both smiling like people who share secrets. The photo was dated 6 months ago. 6 months. This wasn't spontaneous. This wasn't accidental. This was planned. I Ubered home. Sat on my couch. Didn't cry. The pieces assembled themselves like a puzzle I'd been too close to see. Sarah's sudden friendship with James. The way she'd text him accidentally and loop me in with a laughing emoji. Oops, meant that for you, Rach. James's late nights. His distance. The way he'd encouraged the donation, even pushed for it. You'd be saving her life. How could you not? The way Sarah had gotten sicker, right as James and I got serious. How convenient. How perfectly timed, the flowers. The hospital visits. The way they'd kept us separated during recovery. Not for our health, but so I wouldn't see them together. She always accepts things. That's what James had written. That's what they believed. That I was predictable, manageable, the kind of woman who gave and never demanded anything back. They'd counted on my love. Weaponized my loyalty, used my own kidney as cover. I picked up my phone. Texted Emma. I need your help. Anything. I need you to trust me. And I need you to act like everything's normal. Mom, what are you planning? Something they won't see coming. Because people like them never do. I had 3 weeks until Sarah's party. 3 weeks to heal enough to execute this. 3 weeks to become what they thought I'd never be. Someone who doesn't accept things. First, I called James. Made my voice weak, pliable. Hey. Sorry I've been distant. The pain's been bad. Rachel, don't apologize. You're recovering from major surgery. Concern dripped from his voice. False as plastic fruit. I miss you. A pause. I miss you too. So much. Can you come over tonight? I'm feeling better. I want to see you. Of course. I'll bring dinner. He arrived at 7 with Thai food and gilt flowers. Cheap ones from the grocery store. Not like the expensive arrangements he'd sent Sarah. I let him kiss me. Let him fuss over my comfort. Let him believe I suspected nothing. I've been thinking, I said carefully. About Sarah's party. What about it? I want to make a speech. Thank her for being in my life. Tell everyone what she means to me. James's face lit up. Rachel, that's beautiful. She'll love that. Will you help me write it? You're better with words than I am. Absolutely. We'll make it perfect, I smiled. Let him hold me. Let him think he'd won after he left. I threw the grocery store flowers in the trash. Then I started planning the speech that would end both of them. Emma helped me investigate. quietly, carefully. We found more emails. More texts. A hotel reservation in James's name from December. The Driscoll, the fanciest hotel in Austin. Same weekend, I'd been at a pharmaceutical conference in Houston, security footage from Sarah's building. Emma's friend worked there. On the video, James, entering at 10 p.m. on multiple nights in January and February, leaving at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., once, not until dawn. Sarah's Instagram, posted during my surgery. A photo of white orchids. Caption, feeling blessed. Guardian angels everywhere. The comments. Beautiful. You deserve all good things. So glad you're doing well. James had liked it. Heart emoji. My kidney hadn't even woken up in her body yet, and they were already celebrating. I made copies of everything, printed the emails, downloaded the videos, backed it all up 3 times. Then I started working on my speech. Every word a blade. Every sentence a revelation. I practiced in front of the mirror until my voice was steady. Until I could say the words without shaking, Emma watched me rehearse. Mom, this is going to detonate their lives. Good. You're sure? Once you do this, there's no taking it back. Emma, they took my kidney and my boyfriend while I was unconscious. I'm not taking anything back. She hugged me, careful of my scar. That's my mom. James started coming around more, playing the devoted boyfriend. Making up for lost time, he said. I was just so worried about you, he explained. I get distant when I'm scared. I'm sorry. I let him apologize. Let him cook for me. Let him stay overnight. Though I made sure we didn't sleep together. Still too sore, I said. Doctor's orders. He was understanding. Relieved, even. Of course he was. He was still sleeping with Sarah. Sarah called me almost daily. Her voice getting stronger, brighter. I can't wait for you to see me at the party, she said. I look like myself again. Actually better than myself. I'm glowing, Rach. People keep commenting on it. That's wonderful. And I've been thinking, after you're fully recovered, maybe we could travel together, like we always talked about. Europe? Maybe Greece? That sounds perfect, I lied. James mentioned you want to make a speech at the party. My pulse quickened. He told you? Of course. We're all so close. He thinks it's a wonderful idea. So do I. You're going to make me cry, I just know it. I hope so, I said. I meant it differently than she thought. The day before the party, James came over with a bouquet. Real ones this time. Expensive orchids. White ones. For my incredible girlfriend, he said, who did the most selfless thing I've ever seen. I took the flowers. Put them in water. Watched him smile. You wrote the speech? He asked. Finished it last night. Can I hear it? I want it to be a surprise. Come on, just a preview. James. I touched his face. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait. He kissed my forehead. I love you. I know, I said, because he did love me. In his way, as much as a man like him could love anyone. He just loved himself more. March 15th arrived with perfect weather. Sunny, mild, the kind of Texas spring day that makes you forget summer's brutality is coming. Sarah's house was transformed. String lights everywhere, tables set up in the backyard, catering, a bartender. She'd spared no expense. Emma drove me. I wore a silk dress, carefully chosen to hide my scar but show how thin I'd become. My hair was done. Makeup perfect. I looked fragile, exactly how I wanted to look. Sarah greeted me at the door. She looked incredible, healthy, vibrant, wearing a dress that probably cost more than my car payment. Rachel. She hugged me carefully. You came! Oh my God, look at you. You're so thin. Are you eating enough? Recovery's been hard, I said softly. Well, today we celebrate. Both of us. You saved my life. She grabbed my hand. Come on, everyone's been asking about you. The backyard was packed. At least 50 people. Sarah's family. Friends. People I vaguely recognized from her social circle. James was already there. At the bar. When he saw me, his face lit up. He came over, kissed me in front of everyone. There's my hero, he said loudly. Several people applauded. I smiled. Weak, grateful. The woman they expected. Dinner was served at 7. Salmon, asparagus, potatoes au gratin. I pushed food around my plate, barely eating. You okay? James whispered. Just nervous. About the speech. You'll be amazing. At 8:15, Monica stood up, clinked her glass. Everyone, if I could have your attention. Tonight is about celebrating my sister Sarah, who fought the fight of her life this year. And it's about celebrating Rachel, she gestured to me, who gave the ultimate gift. Rachel, we're so grateful. We're so blessed to have you in Sarah's life. Applause. Lots of it. And Sarah's boyfriend James, who supported them both through this journey. Wait. Boyfriend? The word hung in the air. I watched James's face go white. Watched Sarah's sister realize her mistake. Watched Sarah herself freeze, wine glass halfway to her lips. Sorry, Monica laughed nervously. I meant Rachel's boyfriend. James is Rachel's boyfriend. Sorry, the wine, but the damage was done. The crowd shifted, uncomfortable, people exchanging glances. I stood up, slowly, carefully. Actually, I said, my voice calm. Monica's not wrong. Let's talk about that. Sarah's face. Pure panic. Rachel, James started. I held up a hand, smiled. I prepared a speech. About Sarah, about what she means to me. I think now is the perfect time. I pulled out my cards, took a breath. 30 years ago, I met Sarah Mitchell. She was beautiful, brilliant, magnetic. Everything I wasn't. But somehow she chose me as her friend. I was honored. I was grateful. I have spent 3 decades being grateful. Sarah's eyes were pleading. Stop. Please stop. I continued. When Sarah got sick, I didn't hesitate. Test me, I said. Take my kidney. She's my best friend. My sister, how could I not? People nodded. Sympathetic. Moved. The surgery was February 20th. They removed my left kidney through a 6-inch incision. The recovery was, I paused, brutal. The worst pain I've ever experienced. For weeks, I couldn't stand without help. Couldn't shower alone. Couldn't sleep more than 2 hours at a time. I let that sit, but I was happy. Because Sarah was alive. My kidney was working. She was going to be okay. James stood up. Rachel, maybe we should... Sit down, James. My voice was steel. He sat. During those weeks, something strange happened. My boyfriend started working late. A lot. My best friend was too busy to visit. Too focused on her own recovery. Understandable, right? We were both healing. The crowd was silent now. Attentive. Then I found out where James was during those late nights, and why Sarah was so busy. I pulled out my phone. Projected it onto the screen Sarah had set up for photos. The emails loaded. Large. Undeniable. She always accepts things. Someone gasped. These are emails, I said calmly. Between my boyfriend James and my best friend Sarah. They started sleeping together 6 months ago. Before Sarah got sick. Before I offered my kidney. The screen advanced. More emails. The hotel reservation. Text messages. Can't wait until Rachel's recovered. Then we can tell her. She'll forgive us eventually. Sarah was crying. Silent, streaming tears. They planned to tell me. After tonight, after I made a speech about how much I love Sarah. After I thanked James for his support. I smiled. They thought I'd accept it. Because that's what I do. I accept things. I advance the screen. The flower receipts. James sent Sarah flowers throughout my recovery. Expensive ones. The white orchids in my hospital room. Those weren't for me. Sarah had them delivered to her room. She just moved them to mine so I wouldn't suspect. Someone in the crowd stood up. Left, then another. Another. Sarah's face was buried in her hands. I gave you my kidney, I said directly to her, while my body was open on an operating table, trusting you with my life. You were planning how to steal the rest of it. Rachel, I'm so sorry, she sobbed. No, I said. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. I turned to James. He looked sick. And you're a doctor. You took an oath. First, do no harm. But you convinced me to give my kidney to your mistress. Used your medical expertise to manipulate me. To make sure I said yes. That's not... I love her. You love yourself. Both of you do. You love what you can take from people. I gathered my cards. Turned to the crowd. I hope you all enjoy the party. The salmon is excellent. Sarah spared no expense. Of course she didn't. She has plenty of money. What she wanted was my kidney. And my boyfriend. And my silence. I looked at Sarah one last time. The kidney's yours. Keep it. considerate payment for the friendship I wasted 30 years on. But the silence? That was never for sale. I walked toward the door. The crowd parted. Emma was waiting. We drove away while the party imploded behind us. The story went viral within 48 hours. Someone at the party had filmed my speech. Posted it. Within a day, 2 million views. Within a week, 30 million. The comments were savage. She gave her kidney and the friend stole her man. This is the most evil thing I've ever heard. I hope that kidney fails. That last one made me flinch. I didn't want that. I didn't want Sarah dead. I just wanted the truth seen. James called 63 times in 3 days. I blocked him on day 4. Sarah sent emails. Long ones. Explaining. Justifying. Begging. Rachel, I know you're angry, but you don't understand. James and I fell in love. We tried to fight it. We didn't want to hurt you. But love isn't controllable. You of all people should understand that. You're making me look like a monster. People are sending death threats. Is this what you wanted? Please. We can talk about this like adults. You're ruining my life over a mistake. I didn't respond. Not once, Monica called. Rachel, Sarah's devastated. She's getting threats. People recognize her in public. She can't leave her house. You need to tell people to stop. I told the truth, I said. What people do with it isn't my responsibility. You're being cruel. Am I? Crueler than sleeping with your friend's boyfriend while she recovers from donating you an organ? Monica hung up. James sent one final email. Rachel, I'm so sorry. You deserved better. I'm a coward, a selfish coward. You gave everything, and I gave you nothing but pain. I hope someday you can forgive me. Not for my sake, for yours. Because you deserve peace. I've resigned from my position at the hospital. I'm moving to California. Away from you. Away from Sarah. Starting over. The kidney was real. Your sacrifice was real. My love was real too once. I'm sorry I broke it. James, I read it twice. Deleted it. 3 months after the party, I was physically recovered. The scar had faded to pink. I could exercise again. Sleep through the night. Emotionally, I was still sorting through wreckage. But here's what I learned. Some betrayals are so complete, they burn the ground clean. And sometimes, that's what you need. A fire that destroys everything so new things can grow. I made new friends. Real ones. People who didn't take, didn't use. Didn't measure my worth by what I could give them. Emma and I got even closer. You're my hero, she said one night over wine. You could have accepted it. Made excuses for them. Shrunk yourself down, but you burned it all down instead. I didn't do it for revenge, I told her. I did it for truth. Is there a difference? Yeah, I said. Revenge is about hurting them. Truth is about freeing yourself. The letters I get now. My story spawned a movement. Women sharing their own stories of betrayal, of giving too much, of being used by people they loved. They email me, DM me, share their own speeches, their own moments of truth-telling. I gave my sister $50,000 for her business. She never paid me back, called me selfish when I asked for it. My mother made me donate bone marrow to my brother, then uninvited me from his wedding because his fiancé thought I was too dramatic about the recovery. My best friend asked me to be her surrogate, then told people I was doing it for money when I did it for free. The stories pour in. Hundreds, thousands, all variations on the same theme. Women giving everything, only to discover they were always disposable. I read every single one, and I write back. You deserved better. The truth set you free. Don't ever regret it. 6 months later, Sarah tried to rebuild. New Instagram account. Posts about growth and learning from mistakes and choosing authenticity. People weren't having it. Every post got flooded with comments. Where's Rachel's kidney? Hope you thanked your donor. Thief. She eventually deleted everything. Disappeared from social media entirely. I heard through Monica, who still occasionally texts me, guilty and apologetic, that Sarah moved to Denver. Started over somewhere nobody knew her story. She asks about you, Monica said. Wants to know if you're okay. I'm fine. She says she'll regret this forever. That she lost the best friend she ever had. She lost that the moment she decided I was someone who would accept anything. Rachel, do you think you'll ever forgive her? I thought about that. Really thought. Forgiveness isn't about her anymore, I said finally. It's about me not carrying her betrayal like a stone in my pocket. So yeah, I forgive her. I forgive them both. But forgiveness doesn't mean trust. Doesn't mean friendship. It just means I'm done letting them live in my head rent-free. Monica was quiet. That's fair. How's the kidney working? I asked. Perfectly. Her numbers are the best they've been in 5 years. Good, I said, and meant it, because the kidney was never the betrayal. The kidney was a gift, pure, unsullied by their choices. What they did with it after, that was on them. The man I met. His name was David, a high school history teacher. Divorced, kind eyes, zero connection to my past. We met at a bookstore, both reaching for the same novel. He apologized. I laughed. We got coffee. On our third date, he said, I should tell you. I know who you are. The kidney story? I saw it, my stomach dropped. Oh. I'm not interested in you because of that, he continued quickly. I'm interested in you because you're funny and smart and you have an opinion about whether Hamilton is historically accurate. It's not, I said. I know. You're right. That's what I like about you. On our 6th date, he asked about the scar. I showed him. The thin silver line along my left side. Does it hurt? He asked. Not anymore. Sometimes I forget it's there. Other times it's all I can feel. He kissed it. Gently. Thank you for surviving what you survived. Not thank you for giving the kidney. Not you're so brave. Just thank you for surviving. I cried for the first time in months. I see her sometimes. In my mind. Wonder what she tells people now. Does she say we drifted apart? That I couldn't handle her happiness? That I made a private matter public out of spite? Or does she tell the truth? That she took and took until there was nothing left to take? And then was shocked when I finally walked away? I'll never know. We don't speak. But here's what I do know. My kidney is keeping her alive. Every day, every breath she takes is filtered through what I gave her, and she has to live with that. Has to wake up every morning and remember that the organ keeping her alive came from the woman she betrayed. That's not revenge. That's just biology. But it's the most poetic justice I could have asked for. I get invited to speak sometimes. Women's groups, support organizations, podcasts. They ask, how did you find the courage? I tell them, it wasn't courage. It was clarity. For 30 years, I saw Sarah through a filter of who I wanted her to be. The friend who loved me as much as I loved her. The person who would never hurt me intentionally. The kidney donation removed that filter, showed me who she really was, who James really was, who I really was in their eyes. Someone who accepts things. The speech at the party wasn't revenge. It was refusal. I refused to accept the narrative they'd written for me. The one where I quietly discovered their affair, cried privately, and eventually forgave them because love is complicated. I wrote my own narrative. One where betrayal has consequences, where truth matters more than keeping the peace, where women don't have to shrink themselves to make other people comfortable. My daughter got engaged 8 months after the party, to a woman named Priya, an environmental lawyer with a laugh that could light up a room. At the engagement party, Emma pulled me aside. Mom, I need to ask you something. Anything. Sarah reached out. She wants to send a gift. Maybe come to the wedding. My chest tightened. What did you tell her? I told her I'd ask you. It's not my place to decide. I looked at my daughter. My fierce, protective daughter who'd driven me to appointments, held my hair when the pain medication made me sick, helped me expose the truth. What do you want? I asked. I want her nowhere near us, but I also don't want you carrying this forever. So I'm asking, what do you need? I thought about it. Really thought. Tell her no thank you on the gift, and that she's not invited. Not because I'm punishing her, but because some bridges once burned, stay burned. And that's okay. Emma hugged me. I love you, Mom. I love you too. And Emma? Thank you for believing me, even when I didn't believe myself. 1 year after the party, I got an email from Sarah. Subject line, I'm sorry isn't enough, but it's all I have. I almost deleted it unread. But curiosity won. Rachel, it's been a year. I don't expect you to respond. I don't deserve a response. I've been in therapy. Real therapy. Not the kind where I complain about my problems and expect validation. The kind where I have to look at who I really am. My therapist asked me to write down all the times I took from you without giving back. The list was 11 pages long. 11 pages of small betrayals I never noticed because you never complained. You were right. I saw you as someone who accepts things, someone who would always be there. I took advantage of that. I took advantage of you. James and I aren't together anymore. We tried for 2 months after the party. Turns out, when the excitement of the affair wore off, and we actually had to face what we'd done, there wasn't much left. He moved to California. I moved to Denver. We don't speak. I think about you every day. Not the you I created in my head, the accommodating friend who made my life easier. But the real you, the woman who gave me life and expected nothing in return except honesty. I couldn't even give you that. Your kidney works perfectly. I'm healthy. I'll live a long life because of you, and every single day of that life I'll know I didn't deserve it. Not the kidney. That was a gift. You. I didn't deserve you. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't even know if I'd accept it if you offered it. Some things you do are so wrong that forgiveness feels like an insult. I just want you to know, you were right. About everything, and I'm sorry, not for getting caught, but for doing it in the first place. I hope you're happy. I hope you found someone who sees your worth. I hope my betrayal didn't ruin your ability to trust. And I hope, someday, when you think about me, it doesn't hurt anymore. Sarah, I read it 3 times. Then I wrote back. The first and last time I would respond. Sarah, thank you for this. It doesn't change anything, but it matters that you tried. I am happy. I found someone who loves me without conditions. I have friends who give as much as they take. I have a life that isn't organized around making other people comfortable. You didn't ruin me. You freed me. By showing me who you really were, you showed me who I didn't want to be anymore. I forgive you. Not because you earned it, but because I don't want to carry you anymore. You're not a villain in my story. You're just a lesson. The kidney is yours. My friendship isn't. That's the trade we made. Live well. Live long. And maybe, with the years I gave you, learn to be the kind of person who deserves them. Rachel, I hit send. Then I blocked her email. Some conversations need to end definitively. I'm 49 now, 18 months post-surgery. My scar is barely visible, just a thin line that catches the light sometimes. People still recognize me occasionally. You're the kidney woman, they say. Some want to hug me. Some want to tell me their own stories. Some just want to say, thank you for being brave. I tell them all the same thing. I wasn't brave. I was just done. Done accepting less than I deserved. Done making myself smaller. Done believing that love meant tolerating betrayal. David proposed last month. Simple. Perfect. At the same bookstore where we met. I love you, he said. Not because of what you've survived, but because of who you became after surviving it. I said yes. Emma's wedding is in 2 months. I'm wearing emerald green. Sarah won't be there. James won't be there. Just people who love us. Just people who show up. Sometimes I touch my scar and think about Sarah. About the kidney working inside her. About the life I gave her. And I feel nothing. Not anger. Not regret. Not even satisfaction. Just peace. People call what I did revenge. They're wrong. Revenge would have been calling her employer. Contacting the transplant board. Trying to get the kidney back somehow. Apparently people try this. It's not possible. But they try. Revenge would have been cruelty for cruelty's sake. What I did was simpler. I told the truth in front of people who needed to hear it. I didn't embellish. Didn't exaggerate. Just stated facts. Showed receipts. If the truth destroyed them, that's not revenge. That's consequences. We live in a world that tells women to be quiet, to accept things, to forgive before we've even finished bleeding. We're told that speaking up about betrayal is drama, that exposing bad behavior is vindictive, that wanting basic honesty and respect is demanding too much. But here's what I learned. The truth isn't vindictive. It's just truth. And the people who call it revenge are usually the ones who benefit from your silence. To every woman reading, this if you've given everything to someone who gave you nothing back, if you've been betrayed by someone you'd have died for, if you've been told you're overreacting to legitimate pain, if you've been expected to quietly accept what would never be done to you in return. This is your permission slip. You don't have to accept things. You don't have to be understanding. You don't have to make other people comfortable with your pain. You can tell the truth. loudly, publicly, without apology. And if that truth ruins them, that's not your fault. That's theirs. They wrote the story. You just read it aloud. I gave Sarah my kidney because I loved her. She took my boyfriend because she thought I'd accept it. I told the truth because I finally loved myself more. That's the whole story. Some people will say I should have handled it privately, that I should have been the bigger person, that I embarrassed Sarah unnecessarily. Those people have never given an organ to someone who couldn't give them basic respect. I sleep well at night. My conscience is clear. My scar is healing. And Sarah? Sarah has my kidney. She has her health. She has her whole life ahead of her. She just doesn't have me. And that finally is exactly how it should be. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever been the woman who gave too much and received too little, share it. Comment below with your own story of choosing yourself. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because these conversations save lives. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is the truth they didn't want to hear. And sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to finally say it.